Hi, I'm Nick History Kid. I'm a young patriot who loves history. Today, I'm in Titusville, New Jersey, where General George Washington crossed the Delaware on his way to victory in Trenton on December 25th and 26th, 1776. Washington crossed the Delaware so that his army could attack an isolated garrison of 1,400 Hessian troops in Trenton. Washington hoped that a quick victory at Trenton would boost the bad morale in his army and encourage more men to join the ranks of the Continentals in the new year. At 44 years old, Washington's attack plan included 3 separate river crossings, but only one made it across. Colonel Cadwalader and General James Ewing had a combined force of 1,400 Continentals and Pennsylvania militia, but were not able to cross the river. Washington's main force managed a crossing, but was more than 3 hours late. By the time most of the soldiers had reached the launching point for the boats, the drizzle had turned into a driving rain. By 11 p.m., snow and sleet lashed Washington's army. Most people don't know this, but future President James Monroe crossed the Delaware with Washington, as well as Alexander Hamilton. Washington's carefully planned timetable was 3 hours behind schedule, and Washington seriously considered canceling the attack. He still had to march another 10 miles and 4 hours to Trenton on roads that were slick and with snow and ice. Washington's men used a collection of cargo boats and ferries to transport his men across the Delaware. He possibly used a craft like this, a shallow draft Durham boat, for artillery. By the way, most of Washington's men stood during the crossing. Experienced watermen from New England and the Philadelphia area ably guided the boats and provided the muscle across the challenging river. Washington chose the challenge or countersign, victory or death, for his forces who crossed this river almost 242 years ago. When you come to Washington Crossing State Park, you can walk the path of the Patriots. I wonder what George Washington would say today if he was here reflecting on his accomplishments.
After the crossing of the Delaware on December 7th, I met a man named Thomas Barclay. He offered myself and my officers to have dinner with his family. Because he offered me his home, this is where I made my headquarters. This is where I decided to attack the Hessians at Trenton. However, there was a problem. On January 1st, most of my men's enlistments were up, and they wanted to go home. If this were to happen, I would not have an army. I decided to confront my men with a plea to stay for a bit longer. This was my plea. My brave fellows, you have done all I've asked you to do and more that could be reasonably expected. But your country is at stake. Your wives, your houses, and all that you hold dear. I admire your incomparable patience and fidelity that you have exhibited. I understand your suffering, and I know of your pain. But our cause is just. We must be steadfast in our struggle for freedom and liberty. We must also remember the words of an American patriot, Thomas Paine, who has given us the American crisis. The crisis is now being read to every one of your fellow soldiers up and down this river. I shall read it to you now. These are the times of trauma and souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of his country. But he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we attain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how to put a proper price upon its goods, and it would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated. Britain with an army to enforce her tyranny has declared that she has the right not only to tax, but to bind us in all cases whatsoever. And if being bound in that manner is not slavery, then is there not such a thing as slavery upon earth? Even the expression is impious, for so unlimited a power can belong only to God. After that, my men were ready to march on to Trenton. They were dropping blood, patriots' blood, blood that time can never wash away. And it never did.
Against all odds, Washington and his men successfully completed the crossing and marched into Trenton on the morning of December 26th with a huge victory over the Hessians. Washington reignited the cause of freedom and gave new life to the American Revolution. General Washington, are the rumors true? Did you actually cut down a cherry tree?
What do you think, Nick, the history kid?
Until next time, I'm Nick the History Kid, and remember my state slogan, New Jersey, from the Revolutionary War to the Jersey Shore, both history and fun awaits you.